I feel it in my bones, you're about to move. I feel it in the wind, you're about to ride in. You said that you would pour your spirit out. You said that you would fall on sons and daughters. So come. I feel it in my bones, you're about to move. I feel it in the wind, you're about to ride in. You said that you would pour your spirit out. You said that you would fall on sons and daughters. So like the rain, come drench us in love. Let your glory rush in like a flood. 'Cause we are fixed on this one thing, to know your goodness, to see your glory, and we're transformed by this one thing, to know your presence, to see your beauty. I can see it now, your kingdom come. I can hear it now, the sounds of heaven. You said that if we ask, we'll receive. So we're asking for the greater measure. So like the rain, come drench us in love. Let your power rush in like a flood. 'Cause we are fixed on this one thing, to know your goodness, to see your glory, and we're transformed by this one thing, to know your presence, to see your beauty.
Hello, good afternoon, apa khabar? Welcome to the Family Heart Talk, brought to you by FGAKL and the Family Life Ministry. Today, you are tuned in to episode 5, and we bring you another exciting topic titled Nurturing Attractional Families, Reflecting Warmth and Love. If you have been following this bi-weekly Family Heart Talk episodes, we have been promoting the importance of building missional families within the FGA community and beyond. We need to acknowledge the importance of having strong families that would build a healthy and strong society. Now, what does attractional means? Is it something that is outwardly physical, looks, or there is more to that? What attracts you to a family or an individual? Now, some of you might be wondering, how would such a topic would be of such interest, even during such happenings that is within the pandemic, COVID-19, or even during the political drama that is going on? Well, with me this evening, I have, for the first time on the Family Heart Talk series, 2 couples as our panelists. I'm sure they are well known to many of us tuning in today, so let's welcome them. Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Now, just for the audience, to those who do not know our panelists, allow me first to introduce them. Elder Ho Keng Kiong and Sister Ivy. They have been married for 37 years.
Hello.
They have 4 adult children, aged range 26 to 35 years old, and they are proud grandparents of 2 lovely girls, aged 4 and 6. Now, Elder Ho is an architect by profession, and is also overlooking the Generation Ministry of FGAKL, which consists of children ministry, youth ministry, and the young adults. Ivy, on the other hand, is a homemaker. Now, I would like to call that a home minister, since the 4th child was born. She's currently serving in the women's ministry of FGAKL, and she's also actively involved in NGOs that meets or serves the community. I'm made to know that she is a self-taught painter and she enjoys painting during her free time. Now, for our second panelist, Brother Fu Lai Wei and Sister Ai Xiang, who will be celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary this December. They are actively involved in the family ministry for the past 20 years, first in FGAKL and currently with Alpha Malaysia. Lai Wei is currently the Regional Development Director based in Alpha Malaysia Pacific Hub here in KL, and together with Ai Xiang lead the marriage and parenting courses for Alpha Asia Pacific region. They have 2 adult boys, Jeremy and David, who recently was married to Mary Kate Hannah. Hello, and thank you to our panelists for taking time from your busy schedule, and joining us this evening. Now, indeed, it's a privilege to have all of you on our talk this evening. Now, as we go on as the Church of FGA, we are aligning ourselves with building missional families. And one of the core values is being attractional. So families and homes need to become a discipleship and growth center for our children and even for those around us. Some of the questions that would probably be in our mind is, how am I able to do that as an individual or even as a family member? Or why would I even need to do that? So to start the ball rolling, I would like to direct my first question of the evening to Brother Lai Wei. Now, Brother Lai Wei, what is it to you are the marks of an attractional family?
Dave, it's so good to be with all of you here, and thank you for the opportunity to just interact. And King Kyung and Ivy, it's unbelievable to think that you're now grandparents. Congratulations, you still look young as ever. This is wonderful. It's something to do with the work of the Holy Spirit, I'm very sure, as well.
Amen.
So this whole area, the mark of an attractional family, I like to just take it from the passage which we have learned much and used in our own home, taken from Luke chapter 10, 38 to 41. It's a well-known passage about Jesus coming to the home of Martha and Mary. And out of that, the first area that we understand, and it says that Martha opened up her home. And I like that word that's used there. And in the context of the original word, it's a very warm and welcoming place. The idea of a home is that it's for living and it's not of living. Let me distinguish that a little bit. Yeah, a home that is for living is a place where relational aspects are built and interacted upon, where care is mutual. But if it is just of living, that means it becomes like a hotel a little bit. Then it becomes a place that's transactional. Then care is just for consuming. I need this care or the other. So first of all, home. And the first place is in Luke 10:38. What is really amazing, Martha opened a home and welcomed not only Jesus, but it's also said and disciples, right? So welcoming Jesus means we welcome the rest of his community of folks that hang around with him. So number one, home is a place where people are welcome. So an attractional home is one that folks are welcome in. People are welcome. So first P. Second one is Mary. Mary just gave us the model. Yeah, she just leaned in. I'm sure there's many things to do, and in providing hospitality, and there's a whole bunch of folks coming. They're hungry. They need their feet washing in those days. Today itself, when people come, it's more than just giving a cup of coffee, tea. They also need to know our Wi-Fi and all that. But the one thing Mary did was she leaned in. So the home was a posture of devotion. So an attractional home has a posture of devotion where Jesus is honored and centered. And the last piece is very exciting here, is that we see that it's really a place for transformation. In Luke 10:42, it says that Mary went and complained to Jesus, "Hey, Jesus, I sweating away here, and please tell my sister," right? But if you read in John 12:2, after this incident was over, it said then when a bigger crowd came to their home, it said that, and in two words, Martha served. So from Martha sweating, it became Martha served. It became a place when Jesus spoke to Martha, she transformed out of that short period of engagement. So what's the mark of an attractional family home for us? Is our people are welcome. It's a posture of devotion, and it's a place for transformation. That's how we are attracted to attractional families.
So thank you, Larry. So it's interesting that you brought up the concept of a 3P on this, right? So in terms of the people, the posture, and the place. All right. So I just want to take this up to Elder Ho. So what is a mark of an attraction family to you? Yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks, Dave, and good evening, everybody, and Lai Wei and Ai Xiang. Good to fellowship with you again, although it's online. For me, the attractional family comes from a deep love for God and then the love for one another. And as a result of that love for God and one another, it overflows into the people that are around us. And in that sense, we go in and care for people. We are concerned and we begin to be interested in the lives of other people that is within our family, whether it's siblings or parents. But at the same time, it goes beyond us and it goes to the other people that are beyond the family. And it's looking for the opportunity to be carriers of God's blessing to them. So we are carriers of God's blessing. So we look for that opportunity to do so as a family and as individuals. And last thing is about serving. It's about being able to be practical to the needs of so many people around us and to be able to reach out our hands to be able to serve them and to bless them. So the home is where we allow that to happen amongst ourselves, and at the same time we keep on looking out for the others. And when we begin to do that, we reflect a warm and an affectionate way, and we believe that we will build a DNA that looks beyond our own walls. And I find that this is built intentionally over time, over months and over years, and eventually becomes a culture and becomes the DNA of the family. So when we begin to look beyond ourselves, we begin to exhibit salt and light in our characteristics, and it becomes very attractive. So that's where I think I would want to define it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Elder Ho. And I think it's something which is one of the keywords that you've actually used. That it also has to be intentional of things that we do in reaching out. Yeah. So as we're going on and we're talking about on our homes, that it should be a place for spiritual growth. A spiritual growth to take place. So Elder Ho, continuing with you, I would like to know, and could you please share as to how do you encourage your family members to be involved in the life and growth of others outside your family? Yeah.
Yeah, I have 4 children, and as you have read earlier, the oldest is already 35 and the youngest is 26. So I can imagine when they were young, they were observing us as we went into church to serve on a regular weekly basis, whether it's a weekday or a weekend, and then we bring them along. And I think over the number of years, I think some of these things that we do as an outward expression of caring, serving, and looking for people to help, it sort of begins to be caught in their lives. So I think one of the ways to encourage them is for them to see our convictions and our burdens and our way of wanting to be a blessing to others. I think so encouraging it to be caught by them through our lives, that's number 1. Number 2, I think, is to be intentional in encouraging them to go beyond themselves and to serve based on their strengths in their lives. My 2 sons, the older one is very musical, so we do encourage him to focus on his strengths and then to be out there to serve the church. My youngest one is a bit more savvy on the multimedia and in terms of relationships, so he gets involved with the young adults. My youngest daughter, who is away from home, but whilst she's away, she's very active in serving in life groups, and they are able to build and grow their life group. So that's her skills. And my older daughter is an encourager, and currently she has captured the burden or the vision to really focus on building up the young children, her children, and it's something that they catch from us. So I think the first one is really to get them to catch our lives by allowing them to see us. Number 2 is to be intentional, and I think the last one is to create opportunities where we are able to find ourselves having celebrations as often as possible. And sometimes it's not necessary that mom and dad is always the one organizing it, right? Sometimes it's not us that are at the forefront. So we sort of, over time, allow them to take ownership. And then you say, okay, we're going to have these people coming, and can you please play your part in this. And over time, we share our responsibilities. And over the years now, it's beginning to be picked up. So I think it's these 3 areas that I find in which the children catch it, and then at the same time they begin to be more outward looking to the people around them. Okay.
Interesting. That I think it's a role modeling as parents is very important for our children, and to encourage them. Yeah, that's very true. And that's what you have shared.
Yeah.
And it's also to all those who are listening in, as young as their children may be, but we as parents are always good role models and should be the role models in the family. I think that's very true.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if they see us on a Wednesday, bring our children along and going for prayer meetings, or on a Sunday, we bring them and we spend the whole day with them in church. It's something that they catch, right? So over time, they begin to see the value. And I think as parents, we need to intentionally do that. And that's going to be a great blessing to them over the many years of their lives.
Yeah.
So don't sort of think that it's nothing, but actually they catch it.
Yes, correct. And I think as that's why we are also arranging this talk in order to make awareness to our audience, that it's on how we can do it, and that's in a way for us to help them as well. So okay, I'm just going to pause here for a while at this juncture, and just to tell our viewers, probably some of them just joined us in late. So you are tuned in to the Family Health Talk, episode 5, titled Nurturing Attractional Families, Reflecting Warmth and Love. Now, you as a viewer, you are able to participate in the session today as well. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or views relating to today's topic of discussion, please feel free to leave them at the comment section of our Facebook pages. We will be taking up those questions towards the end of the session. Okay, so but continue tuning in. Now, coming back to our panelists. Now, I must say that our panelists are very well known for their warm hospitality. Now, these are very hospitable people, okay? And those who have experienced it firsthand would agree, and they know what I'm talking about. So my next question would go to Sister Ivy Ho. So as the saying goes, Sister Ivy, it takes two to tango, and teamwork is definitely important. So could you tell us, how do you complement Elder Ho in building an attractional family outside the church context? Ms. Ivy?
Yes, thank you, Dave, and good evening, everyone, and hi. For both of us, we have been married for 37 years, as Dave have mentioned, and very naturally that we share the same vision, passion, understanding, and belief. So in order for me to organize anything, it is as if that's, I do not have any, I don't expect any opposition from Ken Kyung, and I will always get his approval and support in wherever the family is concerned. So wherever I organize something, and then the whole family is involved, and he's always there to back me up. So no doubt it's very easy to compliment him. So on building an attraction family outside the church context, well, when it comes to building, being a wife, an architect, so I always emphasize on foundation and the substructure before the superstructure is being built. So wherever but you want to build something, and it has to be to the Bible. So the foundation is always from the Bible. So I have 3 T's, that is the train, the teach, and the tell. So as some say that a healthy community or a healthy society begins at home. So a home is really a very good training ground. So I got these 3 scriptures that is talking about training, teaching, and telling from the book of Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. It said, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. And the other one is from the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 7. Teach them diligently, and you shall talk to them when you sit down, and when you take a walk, and when you lie down, or when you rise. And the third verse is from Joel chapter 1 verse 3. And this one I like it, is because it says, tell it to your children, and your children to their children, and their children to the next generation. So I believe that it has to be a continual passing down to the next generation, and it cannot be just stopped at our generation. So it is very important for us as parents that there is a continuity. So that's why our God is a generational God, you see. So I have a couple of examples here that I got the whole family involved in blessing outside people out of church context. And the first one is 2 years ago, we have a young adult who has gone for discipleship training in Perth, YM. And he appealed to us, and because he wanted to do mission work in Nepal and also in Philippines. And so he's short of fund, and he asked us to partly sponsor his mission. And I was thinking that this is just a right opportunity to get all my family members to involve. And by then, my 2 youngest one is already working, and they're financially, they're earning some money at least, you know. So I told them, I said, why don't we just chip in, everybody chip in and get a fund, and then we give it to this young man. And if we cannot go to mission, why can't we bless somebody that can go on our behalf, you know? So all of us, they really are very enthusiastic, and we blessed him. And this is a blessing to the mission. And the second example is last year in December, while I was very busy preparing my younger daughter's wedding, and I have no time to really think of what kind of Christmas present to buy for everyone. So I told the family, and I said, maybe from this year onwards, all our Christmas money to buy present should be gathered together as a sum that we will see which society or which area that need help. Then we will just contribute this whole sum to them.
Right.
And none of them actually said, no, I don't want, everybody is just come together and said, okay. So I told my daughter, so to involve the generation, that means you got to tell your children they are not going to receive their present this year, and they are going to contribute as well, to the Christmas fund. And so, my daughter she have to continue this journey, as something that she has learned from us, and she has to teach the children. And so it's just nice, during this year, in the month of April, and we gathered the sum, and we give it all to FGA Tabung to bless the community.
Wow.
So this is a blessing to the community. Okay, so the third one is just recently this month, and my maid come shopping to me and say that her auntie is very, very ill because of cancer. And then she said she need to have chemotherapy treatment in Philippines, even though it's in Philippines, but it's still quite expensive. So each treatment is like 1,000 over ringgit. So I told her, I said, don't worry, I will talk to my family and I will gather everybody's strength, to contribute towards this treatment. And at the end of the day, when I told her that this money had been collected, and she was crying, her eyes were sopping, and then even her cousin sister in Philippines was actually, call up, FaceTime us to tell us that she is really appreciating what we have done. So this is another building Attractional family outside church contact, even to bless somebody overseas in the Philippines.
Wow,
so this
amazing,
is,
Ivy. I mean, you have shared. That's why I said it's important to have a very supporting spouse. So as you said, Elder Ho actually supports in what you do. I think that's very true. And also how you get your family members, and also as how you have blessed those outside. I think that's very true. And as you've shared these examples, so can you just share a bit more on how do you involve everyone? How do you get everyone in your family to be involved in that hospitality as well? You shared that, right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, involvement of everybody in hospitality is something that is in my DNA, because my background, actually my parents from young, they are really, really interested in celebrating our birthday. It seems that, for all of us, that we have our celebration at the venue. My father is a photographer, so when they have this venue that actually is quite big, so we have quite a decent celebration. So for me, as I have my own family and I have 4 children, and this is my desire to do the same for the 4 of them. And I make it a point that every 2 years, that means when they are standard 2, standard 4, standard 6, they will have their celebration in the house at home, and they will get the chance to invite all their friends, their little friends, And why is this standard 6? Is because this is the last year they are in the primary school, and they have a chance to mingle, spend more time with each other. So when we have also opportunities that invite other people to come to our home, as Elder Ho just now shared, and when it comes to a small celebration at home or bigger celebration outside, we always get our children involved, from the menu to the cooking to the baking and to hosting. So all of them are involved, and we also invite our in-laws. Some of them are non-Christians, so we see this as an opportunity to bless them. So this is how we get everybody involved.
Yeah, giving everyone a role to play, contribute into the work. Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for that sharing. I think that will help also others who are listening in on how we can play a small part, even to give our young as they are, their children, to play a part and kind of attract others as well as the guest that comes to our homes and all that. Yeah. So let's move on to someone who has been very quiet, I think, for Sister Aisiang, right? So you two, I have no doubt, are also well known to for your hospitality, and you're also well known to those who are tuning in. So both you and Lai Wei are well known to have opened your homes to foster many young people. So tell me this: why do you do that, and what benefits do you find in opening your homes to others? Yeah, Aisiang.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Elder Ho and Sister Ivy, for your sharing. We have been so touched by all that you have shared, and I just want to say that how we start opening our home for all the friends. It started when I became a Christian as a teenager. I was badly persecuted by my parents, and my only refuge is going into my youth leader's home. And when I go there, he will always prepare me a hot drink and give me some biscuits. He and his wife always welcome anybody seeking for a place to come to where they can just be alone and seek refuge. So with that example, I always tell myself that I felt so much comfort and so much joy in experiencing this open home from this youth leader. And I say, when I grow up, when I get married, I will have an open home for any youth who need to have a place of refuge. I will have that open home. So finding my husband means he needs to have this same concept. So I met Lai Wei, and he said he too has the desire to open our home for anybody who needs. So because of that, I married Lai Wei. With that,
apart from love, right?
yes.
Thank you.
So even when we came back from our honeymoon, we already have a relative staying in our home, a young student who needed a place to stay for his studies is nearby our home. So we already were hosting people from the day we got married. And then we often have people coming over, and there are people who are persecuted, the youth who are persecuted in their home, and we say, come anytime, you can come to our home. And I always have biscuits, Milo, tea or coffee ready for them. And then if they're hungry, I always stock up with Maggi mee. That's why Lai Wei say he married me, because we always talk about stocking our house with food for anybody who wants to come and find refuge. So our children grew up seeing all the people in the home. And then I remember David, he was only 10 years old, and I went out to buy something, and we have a guest from India, Uncle Raj. He woke up and I was not there to make him his breakfast, and David said, Uncle Raj, I will cook you an egg. And I've never taught David how to fry eggs or scramble eggs, but he did it. And I was so amazed when I came home, he already made Milo for Uncle Raj and cooked some scrambled egg for him. So, our children just pick up from what we are doing. They learn, and they also, when they grow up, they have friends over in the house for sleepovers, for chats. And then even friends who have issues with their family, they're always in our home talking to our sons or us. And then we just enjoy this open home, and our children have been enriched so much, especially we have students from overseas. Then they start to learn that there's a country called Kenya, there's a country called Uganda, and then we have students from Kuantan and from Kuching. And then they get to fly to see their foster sister in Kuching, and they're so happy. So our children are richer for having all these open homes and our guests in our home. And I really thank God that now when they went overseas in America, I remember Jeremy arriving in America, nobody to pick him up, but the friends that opened up their homes so that Jeremy could stay with them, because the school was not open and there's nowhere to stay. And we don't have enough money that time to let him stay in a hotel. So we are so thankful for homes opening up for him to stay. And then when David went to America during the school holidays, they can't afford to fly home. and they have nowhere to go because the university are closed. So they have homes open for them, and we are so grateful for this open home. So we believe when we open our homes and we are hospitable to others, one day we will reap all that we have blessed others. We
Amen.
also will be blessed.
Amen.
Thank you.
So true.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think I see it's really touching. So for you to say that, you know, what you have done, you know, what you went through, and why you open up. Lai Wei, you know, Aisiang was saying that she stocks up. So I guess you've been really filling up yourself with a lot of Maggie mee. So, this is a free promotion for Maggie.
That's right. That's right. So I've become a connoisseur in Maggie mee. They just ask me. I can tell you how well it's cooked or not. Yeah,
Amazing.
seconds and all.
Yeah, just a question that you said David decided to cook an egg for Uncle Raj, right? How old was David then?
Yes.
How old was
10
he?
years old.
10 years old.
I mean, 10 years old. I know a lot of children already start cooking at 10 years old, but because David was the younger one, I pamper him a lot. He don't cook. He don't use a ladle or use a frying pan. And that was the first time I saw him using a frying pan. I was so shocked.
Yeah. I mean, it's so wonderful, right? When they are put in a situation where they have to take responsibility because they saw the parents doing that, they pick it up, right? And then they began to act it out and then try their best. So who wouldn't enjoy a cooking by a 10-year-old? Excellent. Right? So,
True,
great
true.
Great story.
Yes.
Amen. And good
Wow,
news is Uncle Raj is still good friends with us.
After eating the egg.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly amazing, you know, to hear such experience that you have shared and being hospitable, right? And opening your homes to others, to be a blessing to them, correct? And indeed, you know, from what I hear, that I'm sure there are ripple effects. There are ripple effects from your acts of kindness and such blessings that probably have impacted to individuals and even to families. Now, as I was saying, both our panelists, to our audience, both our panelists are very, very busy people in their profession, in what they do. And I think, you know, you've known that since from the bio that I've read. So, Lai Wei, I've got a question for you. I'm sure that there is cost involved, and it's not only in terms of money, you know, when it comes to serving others. So how do you, Brother Lai Wei, balance this with being present with your family?
I think it's so. First of all, I think we go back to the center of how Aisiang and myself, we felt called in our homes to be living. So when you come to our home, there's this plaque on the wall which needs to add one more word. It says there in Joshua 24 verse 15. As for me, my household, we will serve the Lord. You know, of all the things, Joshua is by that time a prime minister of the nation. He's a seasoned, veteran in war as a general. And then the last thing he said to the nation was exactly just that as for me, my household, we will serve the Lord. But actually, there's a word but in front, right? But as for me. And actually, he started that verse with the word but as well. And so knowing that most times as we live and go forward in the Lord, there will be that difference that comes and priorities are different in the way we go forward as a Christian home. So this whole area of cost, so I like to just unpack it using this word cost. Is it okay? COST, the cost of it. The first one is that the cost of others over our own convenience. So our whole perspective, how comfortable will people be when they come into interaction, into coming to our homes? Yeah. So when you come to our homes, we didn't put a coffee table there, apart from the fact that me and our two boys would like to play football in the house. So, don't want to get in trouble with, mom kind of thing. So no coffee table. Then we kind of child-proof the house. And then now at this stage, we gave away all the toys. Now that folks are coming back, we're going to go out. We just went out and bought some more toys kind of thing. Yeah. So the whole idea is that, and books for children. So when they come, we can dialogue with the parents, or parents can therefore leave the children there safely. Things of where we live, there are plenty of cars on the road and parked. So when folks need to come, we move our cars out. So ideas, this aspect of considering the comfort of others over our own convenience. The second area is ordering people over opportunities. I think some of it, King Kyung will probably unpack, and those of us who are in working life will know how competitive life is. Yeah, yet we intentionally, because of this understanding of our lives and what we called for, we've decided to order our lives around people more than just the opportunities that come. And we say wholesomeness matters. Yeah, time. So one of the areas we keep too strongly, first of all, is to ensure our homes are welcoming. I mean, we want to, when people come, people can pick up if husband and wife are not doing well, right? Or parents and children are not doing well. So to make sure we are well. So Siang and I were involved in Asia Pacific in Alpha as an organization, involved in serving churches and training churches to use our tools on marriage courses and parenting courses. Now, in this tool, one of the first primary piece that we learn to do is to make sure we keep our marriage time for each other. So Siang, no, with all of this running around, people priority, she has priority on the calendar. So we have that in place. And same with the boys. Our two boys grew up with the time knowing, and 2 nights ago, we just heard actually from Jeremy's friends. He told his friend in school, hey, tomorrow is my time with my dad. So again, he was assured time together. So, and built around that, from there, we then gave time to others. Yeah, so that's the other area of comfort of others, ordering people over opportunities. And the next one is stewardship. One of the few things Siang and I came to quickly in the early days, given whatever God has given us, we recognize we are stewards over all that God has given. So what we would purchase, when we would purchase things, and when we do purchase, folks will come, would it be useful, will it be practical? And rather than thinking this is mine, ownership. So when we drive around, move around, when we have folks in the home, this whole idea of it belongs to the Lord. So we take stewardship of it. The last cost of it is time. Time is one of the most precious commodity for all of us. We're so aware of it. Yeah. And we found time to be one of the, for me, very costly, simply because we find that, most time because of traffic jam or partly the way we think in terms of timing, we're not Swiss clock timing, right? We don't, we say 8 o'clock, we kind of like a little bit more flexible on it. And we had to learn hugely when we went to another country. When we say 8 o'clock, they could mean 9 o'clock. And anyway, so waiting was one area of cost. We just waited. So I had to learn to bring stuff to do while waiting. So the other areas, when you engage with somebody else's life, you become, well, for me at least, and I think for Siang too, we emotionally we get engaged, and so we become worry as well. We also worry, how are they? Like our foster girls who come and stay with us, when we send them back or they're in a situation, our energy is also taken up there. The other area is also wasted, So you input into lives and you think they're trajectorying on the right path, and then tomorrow they may go somewhere else. And you're thinking, oh God, all the time we invested, where did we go wrong? What is it that we did not connect in with the folks in this? And the last part of timing is, and we all know this, right? When we run home fellowship and all, and yesterday we're in somebody's home, we said, okay, folks, time to go home. So we switch off the light, we switch off the aircon, and then we can stand in the door. We already spent 2 hours fellowshipping together. Then right at the door, somebody then say, oh, I've got this issue. Then we spend the next half hour at the door, and then we chat about it. Then we kind of walk towards the gate of the house, which is not very far, by the way. Our house is very short, right? It's a short, 10 feet, 10 steps, you're out of the house. When we reach about there, we've got the next issue to discuss about children, and spend another 30 minutes. So actually our neighborhood kind of get to see, oh, this bunch of fellas, they're kind of like hovering through the night kind of thing going out. So seizing the moment. So time, so cost, the comfort for others, ordering people over opportunities. We're stewards, not owners of this. And then time, the cost of it. And so how to find balance? So I return to the earlier part of it, just thinking through it's a fight each moment, having planned it out. First, in our own faith, to be anchored in Christ, and then to make sure we're anchored with each other, connected as a couple, and then we widen out to make sure our children are included in that journey, so they understand our calling, so they don't feel, oh wow, constantly there are people in our home. My toys are also other people's toys. Some of my books are also other people's book kind of thing, and then some of them, any case, so if it get torn, we say stick the cellophane tape and say never mind. We'll look at how we less so, and in church. So that's how it goes out. So we actually schedule quite a lot of things into that. Then Aisiang's last statement to me is this, which is a lifesaver for me when I think of all things. It says that the world does not need two saviors. Jesus is enough. So I can rest. I'm a human being, and so 24 hours time is up. That's it, yeah. So that's how we try to find that balance. And so Aisiang,
I think when Lai Wei, you mentioned that, it just brings to my mind that there are two circles in our lives. The first inner circle is where we protect our marriage and we protect our children, right? Because out of that strength of our marriage and our children's relationship with us, then it comes the outer circle, the next circle, which filters out because of the strength of our relationship. So I think there's a certain level of sacrifice that we protect the inner circle so that we can take care of the outer circle. And I think if we are able to do that with sacrifice and with a clear purpose, our inner circle is protected and our outer circle is blessed. So yeah, I just thought of the two circles when you talk like that, protecting our relationship so that we can flow out into other people's lives as well.
Yeah, I think it's something that we Jit and myself have also learned, because when I was new in FGA, I joining in a home fellowship, and eventually Lai Wei and Aisiang were the first home fellowship leaders then for us. And this is where in that home fellowship that we learn about families. And it's true that it's what attracted us, the openness of welcoming people and the hospitality. And through that Jit and myself, or even now, I would say our boys, is actually going into serving is because of what we see of others doing. I think this is something that we can't deny, and it's something that I would say this is some of the fruits that you can see from that, and I really appreciate that,
Yeah.
And but it's undeniable. It's undeniable that during the times like this, that some of us are actually struggling to keep healthy, to keep a healthy balance between work, ministry, and time for family. So what Lai Wei and you have shared, it's very much helpful, and I think what King Kyong has shared as well. Because during this COVID pandemic situation, many of us are caught off guard. We do not know what to do, and a lot of us are struggling to cope with the change or adapting with the new norm, as they say. And it showed us that there is much opportunity to open our homes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's also restriction with all the SOPs that we need to do, and So, Elder Ho, I just like to put this question forward to you. What would be the possible challenges for people to open themselves up to others, and what can or should we do about it?
I think there are obviously the physical limitations and the emotional limitations. Some of us may feel that we do not have a home to open, or our in-laws or people staying with us will not agree with us bringing people into the home. And some of us may feel that we are not extrovert, we're not people person, and therefore let other people do it. So I think these emotional and these physical limitations are real, but they are all based on the fact that once our hearts change, I think it's about the posture of our hearts. The posture of our hearts go beyond our limitations. And if we have a good posture and we direct our posture because we follow Jesus, it doesn't matter whether it is in the home. It could be in a roti canai shop. It could be having breakfast together with somebody. It could be just opening our time and just on the phone, be able to listen and to pray for somebody. And as a husband and wife, or as a family, there's so much we can do to be outward in practical, to be able to be attractional to others. So the limitations of the physical and the limitations of the emotionals shouldn't be the overriding constrained. But I think if we come to the place where we have a place where we are able to posture our hearts to be able to remember Jesus and remember what he's done, and to remember the way and example he has given to care, to love, and to share the good news, we should then be able to do small little things, right? Small little things. It's always the key. The key to me is surrender. If we surrender our hearts to God and we want to honestly do that, that surrender is the key to open a small door. And once we open a small door, we are able to open up the opportunities. So imagine if, for example, if we have 100 families, and if every family in the different contexts and in different circumstances do something simple to be attractional, whether it is praying for somebody, caring for somebody, having roti canai, or perhaps it's also possible to open your home. But when you open your home, maybe during the weekdays, the wife or the husband will come back so tired, right? Then let's go back to the Aisiang and Lai Wei principle. Maggie mee. Something simple.
Okay,
Don't put ourselves in a position where we get ourselves stressed. Because that part is not the primary. The primary is the lives of people that we begin to minister to because we are open the love of God to them through all these circumstances. So as a disciple, I think we need to get the posture of our hearts correct. And that when that's correct, the limitations of the physical and the emotional would soon be secondary. And God will give us opportunities after that. So I think that's something that I want to share with you. Yeah.
Lai Wei, would you want to share anything from that as well?
Well, excellent. I don't know that. Yeah, that can be called principle from Aisiang and Lai Wei on our own. But yeah, we may need to upgrade our food or widen our repertoire a little bit too.
Yeah.
Frozen food too. I think some of the challenges, possible challenges to opening up is some of us have had poor experiences in the past. Either ourselves when we open up the home or during time of engagement. Or maybe some of us are at a poor stage of life at this point. So these two poor areas we're in. The other area is also something as a believer we're coming through and learning to appropriate the whole new creation thinking and aspects of our lives. We have a low view of where we're ourselves. We think, really, can we make any difference? So I like it that what King Kyung just said, the little things that we do, and it's that little thing, the phone call, the thing. And so this season has been a lot more busier. I have to really book time, make appointment with my wife, because she is on high demand, because she just listen and just engage. And I say, hey, okay, can I borrow your phone now, because my battery is anyway. So low self, and then this whole area of privacy is, I think, Kim Kyung just mentioned, some of us, we just don't have the space in the home. So going out, has been a bit of a challenge. I think now it's better. So working through this whole area. And so for folks who are single, who are, not single moms, for example, those area of juggling all these different areas going on. I mean, single dads as well, just juggling all this. So I reckon for those of us who have homes, when we orientate towards welcoming opening, we can start to include this in our journey. And then as they come in, we can interact with them and provide a platform, safe platform. Yes.
I'd like to say something about opening yourself and your home for people. If all the time you're giving and you don't receive from the Lord, and you don't go into the presence of God like Mary, and just sitting at his feet to receive from him, you will be bankrupt emotionally and mentally, and you're not able to give anymore. So I always prioritize that we need to get close to God and have the input from him and receive, receive the word, and then from there we get able to go and give, so that we are strong enough to bless others. That's important.
Yeah, no, I think that's what you have shared so much, in this context of being attractional, and there's much that the audience can take. And you've also shared, of how you have served others. And I want to take this moment in putting this the other way around. You've given and you've given, you've given. So can you share with us, with the audience, some experiences of being served? It's the other way around, being served. Yeah. Probably I'll ask Ivy. Would you want to share any experiences of this, of being served? Yeah.
Okay. I remember there was occasion that our ladies women life ministry, we visited this community called the Desamentari, and we used to minister to them every 6 weeks. So when we were there, we go and visit their homes, and they are actually hardcore poor people, and sometimes to them they don't even have 10 ringgit in their pocket. For me, when we went there to their home and we sat onto, sometimes we don't have a chair, we have to sit on the floor. And when we minister to them and we pray with them, and it's to my surprise that, even at that condition of their home, and their heart is still wanting to be hospitable. And they wanted to buy us a drink, I was really surprised that they were like taking it to the bucket. I asked them, I said, what are you all doing, So he said, oh, no, we just want to go down and buy you a bottle of soft drinks, then we can serve you. Then I was like telling them, no, not necessary, because they just don't have enough money. And I saw the two of them like, gathering enough money just to get a bottle of soft drinks. And to me, it's really touching, that is, it's being served by others that, even at that low, they do not have this low income group, and yet they are appreciative of what we have done, and they want to show hospitality. So it's really I really feel so touched.
Wow. Simple act of kindness, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Ivy and Aisian, anything from you?
Yeah, I must tell you, it's something I had to learn how to receive being loved, and it's so humbling. Some of you would know that we moved over to Mumbai for a period of 2 years just to serve there in Alpha, the organization, and get it going. In the year when we landed in August, and that's the time we didn't know it was their raining season. So all the news that you read about flooding and all that, it's happening. And the last time Mumbai had a major flood was 10 years ago, where the flooding was 30 feet, and people stuck, days didn't go home, etc. So when we landed that day, we came into an apartment. Our apartment had a small lift. That lift was good enough for, if I say King Kiong size, 4-person inside. Is it okay? You are comfortable if King Kiong size. So my size is already a little bit more, okay, maybe down to lesser people, the other one hanging the leg outside the lift kind of thing. So anyway, so we were on the 8th floor, and they don't have a good lift. Now, that day itself, the mattress that we ordered a month ago was going to arrive that day. Now, the guy then called me up on the phone and said in very excitable English, should I say English? So I was trying to understand what we were saying. And he says, I'm coming, but I'm stuck. So I didn't understand that the rain was starting to pour, yeah? And then as we look out from the apartment down, we saw that it was starting to flood. The waters is just rising. And then he called 2, 3. By the 4th time, I kind of understand he's stuck in the flood the other side and he's not coming. So I said, oh, okay, that means, and our home was, the house, yeah, was empty. And I came to tell Aisiang, I said, dear, yeah, there's no, hey, this is it. This is why we're here, right? We love these people and all that. So I said, so I looked to Aisiang, and then,
yeah, so I took out from the luggage whatever I could find, I brought some towels, some bed sheets, and then I tried to lay on the floor, get ready to sleep. And the next moment we hear knock on the door, and it's our friend that found us the house. they carried 8th floor. Their mattress could not go into the little lift. They carried 8th floor, and it was so heavy. 4 of them carry all the way up to the 8th floor and say they want to loan us this mattress. And I think some of them didn't have any mattress that night to sleep on. So we have a mattress where we could sleep on comfortably for 3 days before our mattress arrived. And these are love, hospitality, and you know how we felt so loved and blessed. And I remember when we first landed in India, we need to have meetings with all the different people, but there was no office, no place. There's no way we can rent any place because it's so expensive. And then this sister who found us the house, she's the agent, she opened up her home, and then her children are all grown up, okay? And they push all the 4 children into the small room they have, and their living room is very small. They let us have a meeting, our Alpha India first meeting in their home. And we spent like half a day in discussing. We didn't know that 4 of them are squeezed in a small room. And then after the meeting, we have chai, we have all the biscuits, everything. And then we say, where are your children? And the children are grown-up children, okay? They say, oh, adult children. And they say, oh, they're in the room. I said, what are they doing in the room? Because you're all here having the meeting, so we want the children to stay in the room. So that's what it means to open up and give everything for the benefit of others. And we are so blessed. Yeah.
Amazing. True, because if what you've been sowing, eventually there will be some reaping, and these are also the joy of being served. You know, it makes a difference to everyone. So I think time is of a bit short. So I would say that my takeaway from today's talk would be that I think if once we are to serve, we need to make ourselves kind of like available. We need to be people who are approachable and as also accessible, right? So and I think what Elder Ho has also shared, the posture of the heart, right? So the posture of the heart, and towards oneself and also towards others, what we need to be. And being hospitable can take place anywhere, anytime. And looking at the current condition, it also happens online, being available online, right? We can't be meeting face to face, but online, being available on the phone or even on Zoom, correct? So I think that's the way. So I would advise everyone, stay connected. Stay connected to God, stay connected to one another, right? So it looks like, I think it looks like time has caught up on us. And it has indeed been a wonderful and a privilege for me to have and to host and to have such great panelists, Elder Ho, Ivy, Lai Wei, and Ai Xiang. It's been really great to have you all here. And to our audience, if you have posted any comments or probably any questions, we thank you for your participation. And if we are not able to address them on air, we will be doing them via the comment section. So before we end for this evening, I would just like to remind our audience and everyone that the next talk, Family Health Talk, will be on the 11th of October on the same time, 4 to 5 p.m. and the same link. And this time we'll be bringing you a topic titled Awareness of Cyber Wellness. So do follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram pages. All right. So on behalf of the crew, we thank you for tuning in. Until then, stay safe, be well. God bless. Bye-bye.
God
Bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.